One thing you hear people say all the time is that there just aren't enough hours in the day. Not enough time to exercise, not enough time to work on your goals, not enough time to build the life you want. But the strange thing about time is everyone alive today is given the exact same 24 hours. No one gets more, no one gets less. So the real question isn't how much time we have, it's how we structure the time we're given. Because when you really think about it, time might actually be the most valuable resource we have. For most of my adult life, I never really thought about how my days were structured. Time just happened. Some days were productive, some days drifted away. But recently, I came across a very simple idea that's been around for more than 100 years. It's called the 8-8-8 principle. So it's 8 hours rest, 8 hours work, and 8 hours for life. And when I heard that, I started thinking, if we're given all the same 24 hours, what would the balanced day actually look like? Most people don't actually consciously choose their direction in life. I mean, if you look at careers or jobs, when you're younger, you kind of study, you kind of figure out, right, that's what I want to kind of go and do. But you've not really gained that much life experience to know that that's what you want to do. So you kind of you fall into it. Career advisors, teachers, family, friends. And obviously when you're older as well, like sometimes you kind of move from job to job and you don't find your direction. So you're not consciously choosing your life. And we spoke about it on the last video as well, that like your partners or other responsibilities or experiences is not necessarily your choice. I was kind of saying that with your partner or whatever, it's like every day that you wake up, you've kind of not maybe made a plan. It's like, right, what we're doing today, and it's like, right, you need to take the kids to school, you need to be doing this, you need to be doing that, and all of a sudden your time that you're meant to have your day off, or your time that you feel as if it's yours, is not yours anymore. Those responsibilities really do creep up on your day. Now that's where, like, I kind of hinted on it from the last video. There's a thing called the 8-8-8 principle. Now it was actually introduced about 100 years ago. It was a Welsh person, can't remember their name, but it was trying to balance out life. As at that time there was a lot of, the working day was like 12 to 16 hours. So it's obviously just like an unhealthy kind of lifestyle. I have watched a few documentaries, and there's ones like in Scandinavia, they still have that kind of, a bit of a kind of perfect work-life balance. So they use that 8-8-8 principle. So all it is just like 8 hours for sleep, 8 hours for work, and 8 hours for yourself, like your life. Now, like a lot of people, as I said, are kind of in a career or a job that they've not consciously chosen. So those, like a perfect kind of day, the 8-8-8 principle, really kind of comes down to your days off, or it has for me in my case kind of thing. As I said, like I'm not necessarily enjoying like the career that I've got, truck driving, and it was definitely, when I did the memory kind of thing, I realised that wasn't what I was aligned with, because it's taken me away from the opposite of what I kind of was aligned with, and that was like speaking to people, being around people, having that community. And if you can imagine, truck driving is the complete opposite, just on your own. And for a long time I was doing night shift. So yeah, like when it comes to like my days off, this is what I've tried to do. It's like the 8-8-8 principle. So 8 hours sleep, 8 hours for doing exercises, going to meet people, eating a wee bit healthier, adding all my wee habits in that I've kind of consciously chosen that like in my future version of myself, that's what I would be doing every day. So then the 8 hours of work is purposeful or meaningful work to yourself. Now, I think it works better doing it on your days off, because on your day off, that's you doing it for you. You're not going to waste your time on working on something that you don't want to do. And that kind of goes into the kind of idea of when you're doing something for yourself, you're wanting to transition out of like the job that you're doing for paying the bills, etc., and transition into the job that you kind of want to be doing. So yeah, the 8 hours, the 8-8-8 principle is about purposeful, meaningful jobs. The thing is, when you're actually not doing something that you enjoy, like purposeful, when you're out of misalignment, that's when the day's just dragging. It's like time expands, but it also slows down. So when you're doing something you don't enjoy, like the days feel as if it takes forever. But then if you look back on a month, 6 months, a year down the line, you say, where did that 6 months go? It just like, it vanishes. And if you're just doing the same repetitive things each week and you don't have any enjoyment out of it, there's no meaning in it, then what's the difference between one day to the last? And then that's the thing as well, like our modern society, we've got like the amazing like ability of the internet. You're connected to everybody, but there's so much information out there as well that you can get lost in it. Like movies and programs are getting better all the time. So you're like, oh, have you caught up with the latest episodes or latest films? And as I said, like the next thing you know, is your time's gone. So yeah, like there is a lot of distraction in the world, and as I said, if you're not careful, you can just scroll, have bad habits, and then if you're still doing a job that you don't like, and then your days off, you're doing things for other people, or you're just like getting caught up in the latest trends or latest like kind of programs, like your time has gone, and then it's the next thing you know, you're back to work again. And it's as if your soul's just disappeared and doesn't want to come out. So when you look back and you ask about time, it's like, yeah, like I just feel as if I'm getting older and I've not achieved anything, or I've not done anything that I've enjoyed. That's like kind of, as I said, like doing something that you're misaligned. So that 8 hours of work has to be something that's meaningful. And as I said, once you start doing it on your days off, that's when you're really going to notice it. Because as I said, on your days off, that's for you. So you're not going to do a job that is like doesn't get you anywhere. But I feel as well that sometimes with that kind of thing, you need to take the first step to see if that is what you kind of want to do. And it feels like when you're not aligned, you start choosing what's easy, not what's alive. And that's kind of what I was just saying there. It's each day doesn't excite you. You're just choosing something that's familiar, not something that is expanding you. And actually it makes it feel, when you have got time off or when you're sleeping, that rest doesn't feel like rest. You're not recovering from growth, you're recovering from endurance. And that's the kind of tired where you sleep 8 hours and still wake up exhausted. So it's, as I said, it's this 8-8-8 principle, it's about time management. It's like, it's not the real problem. Like most people think they just need better time management. But you can organise your calendar perfectly and still feel empty. You can hit every target and still feel like your life is slipping away. Because the real problem isn't the schedule, the problem is orientation. Does your life actually match who you are? And this is what it goes back about direction again. And for me, I've kind of said, like, I've recently found myself saying that it's something that's surprised me actually. I have enough time. And it's not because I suddenly had more hours, but because I trusted the path that I'm on. Doing this YouTube channel, doing something that I feel aligned with, that I'm passionate about, that I'm doing it on my day off. Those 8 hours of work are purposeful, are meaningful. And as I said, like about that first step, it's like when I first started doing this YouTube channel, it wasn't necessarily, I didn't really necessarily understand the long-term goal, or I kind of did, but like the kind of medium-term goal, I just knew I needed to start. But I started to, along the way, trust the process. It was when I started getting, my intuition back. Well, as I said, like I was doing one video, and then the next video just magically appeared. And that's when I kind of knew that this was purposeful, that this was meaningful to me, that I was aligned with doing this kind of work. Because as I said, like, if you're doing this in your days off, like, how are you actually going to know that, how are you actually going to know that this is for you? Like, I could have started this YouTube channel, done it in my days off, spent 8 hours a day, like, and then I'm still working 60 hours at work as well. And then it's, I'm still going, I'm still trusting the direction, I know where it's leading me to next. And as I said, like, kind of the path that's led me on is to try to build something that I can then transition into that other job, like doing this. We've spoke about the those, like, shining a torch on those discretionary hours that you're kind of doing. Once you start noticing that, something interesting happens. You actually realise that those hours are quietly shaping your life. It's like shaping, like, your habits, your health, your relationships, and your direction. So this kind of leads me on to what I'm wanting to discuss on our next video. And that's obviously the question that, what are you actually putting into those hours? So this is going to be looking at, like, your bad habits, your addictions. Do you mean identifying things that maybe you would like to stop doing? And then if you stop doing that, that would give you a bit of time that you can add in better habits. So it's just like kind of what changes your life is the behaviours you repeat inside that structure. I'm actually, I'm going to call it load bearing, because it's the idea that growth requires a certain level of pressure. And one of the ways to build that pressure is through, like, as I said, like, taking off these bad habits and, like, addictions and replacing it with something that you kind of consciously choose to add in. Now it's because I've already like I've said before, I've got off alcohol, so I'm nearly off. It's now 3 years, and it's I found that kind of 90-day reset, it's called, and it's about, like, if you're doing something for 90 days, it becomes second nature. So for me, not drinking for 90 days allowed me to kind of come off it, and at that time I chose to learn Spanish. I did that for a year, so that was pretty cool. But then I went back drinking, and then I realised I was like, nah, I need to come off it again. But it's these wee tips and tricks that you kind of that you kind of learn, that you kind of fancy, that you kind of under pressure realise that it is actually working. And that's why I was saying about the load bearing. So basically, yeah, like time is the greatest blessing when it's lived from alignment. That's what we talked about going old, getting old and stuff. And time becomes a silent punishment when it's lived from misalignment. Most people don't need more hours, they need more meaning. They need orientation. They need a life that makes those hours feel alive. Yeah, so I think I've kind of covered that. Yeah, so I would say that time is a mirror. If your life is repetitive, then time feels like it vanishes. If your life is alive, time expands. So yeah, this week's principle is simple. Just shine a light on those 8 discretionary hours. Identifying, like, giving yourself a block of time that you can then put these kind of like any of these kind of habits that you've identified, and put it, like, start doing it. Like that 25 things that I said to do in the next 3 to 5 years. Choose one, choose the top one. Choose a time that you can start doing it, and go out and do it. As I said about taking that first step, you don't understand, you can't see step 2, step 3, step 4 until you take the first step. And once you start doing something that you feel as if you've got a bit of an achievement out of it, it makes you feel better about yourself, it makes you feel confident, it makes you feel as if you can add these extra habits in. That's what I've done. That's what I've showcased on this YouTube channel. So yeah, guys, I'm going to leave it there. So, Slanjiba, ciao.